starting that. Hi everyone. We will be starting our tech flash talks Zoom Room 4 session in some time. I'll just give a couple of minutes for others to join. Meanwhile, whoever has joined can actually take the poll. I still see people coming in, so probably one more minute. All right then. So welcome to today's Tech Flash Talk session. My name is Kusma Krishna. I'm the program manager for Tech Culture and Academia in Intuit, and I'll be your host for the talks today. Hope you all have been having a good time at this virtual event. We will have three topics in four rooms running parallelly, and this virtual event was consisting of some very interesting topics. You are going to witness some of the transformations journey from product to platform, from monolith to microservices, and amazing work behind the scene from some of our open source contributions as well. Right. So first up, let's start with our first session. We have Richa, Vinian, and Aastha Gupta, who will be now talking about Mint Life transforming people's financial lives by connecting them with the experts. So over to you, Richa and Vinian. You can start sharing your screen and then presenting.
Thank you, Kusuma. Let me start sharing my screen.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I am Aastha, and today Richa and I are going to take you through our journey of Mint Life. So this will be the agenda for the day. We'll start with introducing you to what is Mint and Mint Life. We'll deep dive with the architecture and demo, and then we'll end with what are the next steps for Mint Life. So before starting on our journey for Mint Life, let's see what is Mint. So Mint is a personal finance management tool which brings all your money to one place, from savings to bills to credit score to investment. You can create your goals and budgets to stay on top of your finances, and this also gives you insight into where you are spending your money and what is the cash flow. Now that you've seen what is Mint and what data there is in Mint, let's see what is Mint Life. So, Intuit's mission is to power prosperity around the world, and Mint Life is a step towards that. With Mint Life, we connect our customers with the certified financial experts who provide them the right advice to improve their financial health. Now, you may wonder, how is Mint Life different from a firm with 10 experts? We believe we are in a better position to deliver this service because we have the right tools from being what it is, a personal finance management tool. Firstly, we have historical data of our users related to their spendings, their savings, their budgets, and many such things. Second, we have bank connectivity with more than 20,000 financial institutions, which gives us accurate data of our users, providing us data integrity. And thirdly, we have the budgets and goals defined by the users themselves, which gives us insight into what they want to spend money on and where they want to downsize. And given the current circumstances, Mint Life is specifically game changing. With our customers struggling with their finances and given the current situation, they cannot go out to meet an expert. With Mint bringing this experience digitally, it is beneficial for both our customers as well as our experts. Our customers get the help that they need, and our experts can provide the right advice with the right tools at their disposal, which we'll talk about in detail shortly. Now let's see how we made this possible. So first, we wanted to predict the intent of our customers. We wanted to give them the feature that they want and the way they want to use it before they even ask for it. To understand and learn from our customers, we experimented with product placement, monetization strategy, and content awareness. We did all of these experiments around product placement, such as like we placed a dedicated card on our home screen itself. There was one with the floating button and the one where there was a dedicated button on the bottom navigation bar itself. We ran multiple experiments around monetization strategy, where we experimented with monthly based and session based subscription bundles. And we did multiple experiments around the content as well, where we experimented with different content and videos and animation to better explain to our users how Mint Life can add value to their lives. Now, to support all of these experiments, the user-facing UI is defined as a JSON, and the app has a UI rendering infrastructure. Now, this infrastructure primarily has two components. One is the JSON to UI decoder, and the second is content personalization. This decoder decodes the UI config into the content for the screens. Now, in the mobile world, where changing the content of a screen usually requires you to create a new app version and then rolling it out to the users, which might take days, if not weeks. This decoder gives us the capability to change the content of the screen and to change the visibility of its UI components on the go. So this effectively is helping us experiment rapidly and tweaking our experiments as we go. The second is content personalization. We wanted to make the whole experience as personalized to the user. For this, we have built a data manager which hooks into the various data points of the user. If you see here, this is the user saving their credit card debt, their credit score, their loan amount. Currently, we are just using 3 or 4 of these data points. But this data manager has the capability to support many more such data points, such as investment amount, their budgeted amount, their goals amount, their net worth. So tomorrow, if we want to add a new tile with the improve my net worth, we can do so without requiring an app release with just a change in the config. So to sum it up, the Mint user launches the app, goes through the Mint Live in-app experience and schedules an appointment. This is just one side of the coin though. What happens after this appointment is scheduled? Richa will walk you through that. Over to you, Richa.
Thanks, Aastha. So, once our users are at our doorstep, it is up to us now to provide them the best advice and experience. Virtual Expert Platform is our ecosystem of financial experts, the best-in-class tools needed to support Mint Life, and the data required to power personalized advice and insight. So, as we work towards building the best experiences for our users, we also ensure that we provide the right tools to our experts so that they can provide their services in a better way. Intuit Expert Portal is a web app which our experts use for their every interaction with Intuit. It is written in App Fabric, which is Intuit's in-house UI framework built on top of React. Intuit Expert Portal also takes care of the lifecycle events of experts like their onboarding, training, management of work schedules, etc. So this is what Intuit Expert Portal looks like. It has various tools at its disposal to facilitate a smooth functioning of a live session. For example, a telephony widget is used to connect with the customers via phone call. There is note taking capability with notes widget, and there is history of all the calls which the customer has gone through. So once we are all set for a live session, let's get to business, creating an impact in our customer's life by giving them again the best advice. For this, experts need to know financial data of the customer. As Aastha already mentioned, that all of this data is already present in Mint. The challenge here was how to show this data to expert, because for all the systems and tools we develop, our authentication and authorization mechanism takes care of the fact that only the clients can access the data and no one else. So we built an access mechanism to delegate the access of users' data to expert with users' consent. Nimbus is the tool we built which shows Mint users' data to expert. It requests the for data to Nimbus service, which is our backend for Nimbus UI. So now before fetching the data, it makes a verify access call to virtual expert platform services to ensure that the data being requested by the expert has actually been delegated to him or her. If yes, it fetches the data from our core PFM services and returns it to Nimbus UI to render. So this is Nimbus, which is another tool like all many more tools inside IEP. It shows various data points of Mint. Our aim with this tool is to provide the data in such a way that it reduces the time taken to prep for a call for experts and to provide advice. I have mentioned about App Fabric earlier, which is one of the in-house UI framework. One of its advantages is that it provides widget reusability. So any of the page experiences can be reused anywhere with a slight config change. So the investment page experience, which you see here, which shows the investment details of the user, is the same widget which we show to our Mint users in Mint Web. There's also this flexibility of rendering this widget in write mode inside the Mint Web, while we render it with limited access in read mode in Nimbus. So we have shown you all the experiences we have built for user and expert. Let's see the end-to-end flow through demo. Just a couple of settings.
Okay, so here the user.
Just a minute.
So here the user clicks on the Live Expert tab and they see one of the experiences. And once they click on subscribe now, they can select the topics that they need help with and confirm the subscription. Once a subscription is confirmed, they can schedule an appointment where they can see what are the available days and time, fill in their details and schedule. They have the option to add it to their calendar as well. So it's added, and before the call, they'll receive an SMS reminder.
Yeah, so on the appointment time, the expert will try to contact the customer through telephony visit, which you can see on the right side. So this is the time when Nimbus data is available to the experts when the appointment is scheduled and it's scheduled with the expert, and IEP has all the tools required to facilitate this live session. So once the customer is connected, they can have this live session on the go. As you can see that the customer is now connected with the expert, and this is what Mint Live is end to end. So we have shown you what we have built so far. What is our next step? So managing your financials can be a tedious job. What if an expert sets you up for success by collaborating with you, creating your budgets, goals, categorizing your transactions? This is our vision, and every capability we add is towards it. Once you are set up for success, you do not necessarily need to come back on a call every time. Let's say you have a doubt which you want to clarify. You can chat and get it clarified. So we aim to build different mediums of communication so that expert is just a touch away. While you're working hard to improve your financial health, we'll be with you on that journey. Give you a hooray if you have achieved a milestone, or a right nudge to keep you on track through personalized notification and alerts. We all know the power of data. You know your journey, but Mint knows the journey of thousands. We can help you know where you stand among your peers. Data-backed insights like these can be game-changing. We are constantly working towards all of this to deliver the best experiences for our users and help them unlock smart money decisions. That's all we have for you today. This was an interesting problem which we solved and shared with you. Hope this was informative and you had fun. You can post questions in the Q&A section. Thanks for being with us today. Kusuma, you're speaking on mute.
Thank you so much for reminding me that. Yeah, thank you, Richa and Aastha. This was very insightful. And also we saw how customer obsession is in our DNA and how we pivot to give them the best, basically. In the interest of time, we will take question and answers offline. Please go ahead and post your questions on the chat. Or if you have any questions, we could probably take it up. Does anybody have any questions? I don't see anything as of now. Okay, then. So now we move on to the next session. Next up, we have Sruthi Mandalika. She's going to talk about transforming platforms to scale 100x. Over to you, Shruti.
Hey, can you hear me all right?
Yes, thank you.
All right. Hello, everyone. I'm Sruthi Mandalika. I work in Intuit, and today I'm going to talk about one of the interesting problems that we solve here. So I've been throughout my career, I've been building highly scalable and distributed systems. And one of the interesting thing that we noticed here is how do we scale, making sure that we have enough resiliency in place, we have enough failure points covered and all of that. And that's what will be the discussion today. So the agenda would be trying to set the context on what we're doing. Second is how we are doing what we're doing. And the next one will be what were some of the challenges that we faced as part of this and how did we encounter that? And as part of this, what is the next best thing that we are looking at on solving? And then we'll have some time for Q&A. Cool. So while I keep this on the background, Richa and team has already walked us through a very exciting product that Intuit has, which is Mint, which is a personal finance management platform. And Intuit, as such, as you all know, delivers different tax solutions to its customers. And the customers of Intuit are varied. They are people like you and me who do their regular taxes. They are small business companies who use our books and taxes and the payroll products. And then we have experts or the accounting firms which are which serve the large companies as well. Now, these all of these customers have different problems at hand. If I just look at the individual tax customers, they react whenever the tax due date is coming near. When you look at the small business customers, they typically work in the same way throughout the year and maybe use a little more of taxation around the due dates. So each of these cohorts of users have different requirements, and each of systems in Intuit have to support that. Now, while all of this is what Intuit does, what exactly is the problem that we try to solve? And that is where this term OINP comes into picture. The full form of ONP is One Intuit's notification platform, and I am from a team that delivers all of notifications to Intuit customers and experts via this platform. Now, to understand what a notification means, so I define notification as an alert, a necessary alert with which the entire world, for most of it, is running today. I mean, if you exclude the social networking alerts that we get, the products that we have, which are the tax solutions, someone has to alert me to tell that the tax due date is coming. Someone has to alert me to tell that the CA or the tax expert is expecting my home loan document to be sent so that he can file the taxes. Or someone has to alert to tell that, hey, you know what, your refund is getting processed, you will get it in 2 days, 3 days, or something like that. So these are necessary alerts with which the engagement of a customer with a product and an engagement of a customer with an expert is taking place. And having the customer cohorts with different needs as one aspect, and having the importance of alerts to drive all of this as one aspect, and combining both of this together is where the problem statement is. So the problem statement that we try to solve is, hey, how do we elastically scale our platform so that we don't miss out on any of these engagement notifications? And at the same time, we make sure that we add the seasonality of the requests that we get from each of these platforms and products set into it. Now, while this defines why we have to solve it and how important is it to solve, the next one is, how do we solve it? And how did we come to a state where we said, hey, yes, we have solved this problem? So that is where a lot of technologies helped us, and the use of solid principles is the most important basis of our architecture. So we use streaming solution. Kafka is a streaming solution. We use Cassandra for our NoSQL. We use a bunch of other solutions, and we are on cloud AWS, of course, which helps us scale the platforms that we have. Now, we have identified different types of solutions for the different types of problems that we have. So, and how did we do that? Is by figuring out the categories of notifications that we have to send. So the first category we said is going to be a critical immediate alert that has to go. It'll be something like your OTP that's coming in, which allows you to log into the product at all. So for that one, it is extremely delivery critical and time critical. The next one is around engagement, where your expert asks you to upload a document and then you still have to do it. You don't have to do it in the next 5 seconds, but you still have to do it in a limited time. And the next set of notifications is around the marketing notifications that we send out, where we want to cross-sell and upsell, and then provide the latest and the greatest features that we are building. One, which is the Mint Live experience that Richa and team talked about earlier, where we help customers by letting them know how they can move faster, etc., etc. So all of this, we said, we have three different kinds of problems. So we need to have solutions where we can scale for each type of problem. And that is where this architecture helps us. So we have broken down the ingestion points into notification event producers that you see on the left-hand side, and then the entire processing as the notification service that you see in the middle box, and the last mile delivery on the delivery providers that you see on the right-hand side. Now, why do we have to do this? Again, for the same reason. When we have to scale a particular notification like an OTP, we have to scale at each and every level to make sure that we go from X that we have today to 3X whenever the tax date comes nearer. At the same time, if we have to just, sorry, at the same time, if we have to just scale on the campaigns that we want to sell for cross-sell and upsell, we have to make sure that our end one, which is the delivery providers itself, can scale more, because there you don't have a lot of processing to be done. We have a cohort of users and then we keep sending them campaigns. So to achieve all of this, we have all of these coded as microservices, and each of these microservices interact using streams, and we use Kafka for the streams. And all of the transactions have been identified to be write heavy, and we use Cassandra as a NoSQL solution there. And Spark is being used for the batch sort of solution that we have today. Now, having something like this allowed us to scale at different points, different pressure points in this. And then we thought that, hey, you know what, we solved the problem and then we're good with it. And as you all know, everything that you build is bound to fail. And that is where we had the challenges here. Now, the challenges in this particular domain is just not about making sure your servers and your compute can scale, but it is making sure that the domain in which we operate, which is notifications, has some restrictions on the last mile delivery. And what I mean by last mile delivery is when you send out emails, typical domains like Google, Yahoo, Hotmail, etc., etc., they actually look for a confirmation in the headers that are being sent to them, passed to them, to confirm the IP with which this notification is being received, and then the DMARC policies, etc., etc. And this intelligence has been added over the years in the industry to make sure that they discard all the spam notifications. Similarly, even in the text messages, we have some other challenges around the reuse of shortcodes that we do today. Now, to come up with all of this, we have chosen different resiliency mechanisms around being able to build multiple IPs, warm them up, so that whenever we see we have to scale a lot on the taxes, or we have to support the tax seasonality, then we make sure that we have resiliency built in the delivery providers as well. Now, these were the challenges that we faced, and then we solved them. And as next steps, we want to make use of all the notifications that we are sending and take the reactions of a customer on that particular notification, build out a journey line of the customer, and then make use of that journey line to either give back inputs to the customer to tell that, hey, you know what, last time you reacted in this way, do you want to consider that? Or we want to use that to give back the information to our products to tell that, you know what, when your creative has 7 words in a straight line, then looks like your customers are actually reacting to it. And all of that we want to implement using some of the deep learning models. So this is what I wanted to share on how we solve the problem and what we are looking forward for. Thanks for this session. And then if you have any questions, you can ask or post it on the Q&A.
Thank you for that, Shruti. That was very, very insightful. We have one question up here from Anshu Gupta. Given notifications have different criticality of delivery, how do you design for this difference in priority?
Hey, thanks, Anshu. It's a good question. So while I talked about the platform, I just mentioned about the notification types that we have, and that is what decides what path that we take in this. So all the way we solved it is for again the critical notifications like OTP. We have built separate swim lanes, which will not be impacted by our other campaign swim lane or even the regular product notification swim lane. So thereby we make sure that the critical notifications are delivered as they are supposed to be, and at the same time the other notifications are also taking place. Over to you, Kusuma.
Thank you, Shruti. Thank you so much, Shruti. Can you all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. That was very insightful. And due to the in lack of time, we will take the question and answers offline. Please do go ahead and post your questions in the chat section and reach out to our experience zones from the homepage, and we will be happy to answer any of your queries. Thank you, Shruti. So the last session will be by Bharati Patidar, who's the Senior Architect, Persistent Services. She's one of our white paper challenge contestant. She will be talking about context adaptive data standardizer.
Thank you, Kusuma. Can everyone see my screen and hear me well?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Great. So, right. So my name is Bharati, and I would begin with asking a general question, right? Imagine you are trying to buy a product on a very popular website, say Amazon. And just when you are going to make your purchase, you see some discrepancy. You see something wrong with the product specification or maybe ingredients or something that does not go with the brand standard, right? What do? We all have been there. And what we actually do is we either start browsing for alternatives or we maybe defer our purchase, right? But we don't go ahead and buy it. For us, it's nothing, but for enterprises, this is a lost opportunity. And for a frictionless experience for your users, enterprises have to ensure that the data quality is to the best possible. Now, we as a master data management solution provider understand this very well. Now, for people who don't know what master data management solutions do, they help manage golden records for their enterprises, and they have to deal with a lot of customer inconsistencies in terms of data, right? So the master data management solutions, they work for multiple domains like e-commerce, retail, telecom, and whatnot. And the main challenge is every customer brings its own naming conventions. They have their own branding, they have their own style of providing the data, and that differs at every level. And most of the data is inconsistent. That's because you have suppliers and third-party vendors who pump data into the systems. So I have an example of a table which I had shown on the white paper as well, where customer X prefers its dimensions to be spelled out in 5 feet 2 inches, while customer Y prefers symbols. But what the supplier does is it provides its own way of providing the information. So this creates problem later in the pipeline. And to avoid that, what customers do is they have product managers, catalog editors, merchandisers, supplier managers. They all sit together and have spent this curation cycles where they standardize all of the data. Today, everything is manual, and that is the extreme pain point for the master data management solutions as well. So I am Bharati Patidar. I am a data scientist at Persistent Systems, and I look over the quality aspect, the data quality aspect for master data management solution called IBM Product Master. Okay. So to start with, on the white paper, right, we were trying to target these three main research questions. The first one, can we build a solution that will standardize the data for all of our customers without us having to write rules explicitly for them? Second question, can we capture the essence of the customer branding and maybe make it available for the users in a way that they do not feel that they are looking at a third-party data, right? And third, can we take this solution out for every customer in every domain? We don't want to be writing special code for different customers in different domains. So with these three challenges, we moved on to find a solution. Now, these were the experiments that we did. We used all the state-of-the-art techniques. We resorted to machine learning and deep learning models. We used pre-trained word embeddings. We used encoder-decoder for machine translation, and we also tried attention-based transformers. Now, we were working on data sets which were crawled from public websites from our customers, which are in like pharmaceutical, retail, and electronic domains. The results weren't great, and that's because all the deep learning models have this challenge that you have to provide both good examples and bad examples. In the data quality space, getting good examples is not a concern, but getting the bad examples is a big challenge because you cannot get an exhaustive set of bad examples. Examples, like there are ways through which which can, people can put in data at real time, which will break your data quality checks. So that was a huge challenge. The second challenge was, because now we were creating synthetic data sets, right? The second challenge was we weren't sure whether the representation of all the problems that can come in the real world were present in our examples. Now, if we were trying to show a pattern for the models to learn, those patterns were not getting replicated on other set of words. And finally, the last challenge was, because you are giving examples of some pattern, there was catastrophic forgetting on the deep learning model side, where it was just getting skewed towards examples for which we had more number of patterns for which we had more number of examples versus the ones which did not have many examples. So in a way, this was not working for us, even though they were SOTA techniques that we were trying to implement. So we came up with our own solution, right? Our vocabulary space was very limited. We were working for multiple domains, but we were actually working in a closed domain. So our space of search was less. So this is the approach that we tried, right? In the white paper, what I have described is we followed a two-stage process. In the first stage process, we tried to understand the context of words that come together in the product descriptions, in the product, different specifications that every product has for coming from every customer, right? So you actually capture the context with which a word can appear. For example, here, let's consider you are thinking about word shirt. So you can see that in a window of 2, I can have scrub and coolwear as the words that come in the context of the word shirt. Now, for the demo purpose, I've just used the window of size 2, but generally we have size around 4, 5, 6. And for our data sets, we have worked it well for a data set for a window of size 5. Okay, so as you can see, shirt will have 2 context parameters here, cool wear and medium, and scrub and cool wear. Similarly, For coolware, you have short and medium. And for coolware, again, you have medium and periwinkle as the context variables. So what we do is, given a context of few words, we train a machine learning neural network to predict a word that will come in the best context given the sample words. Okay, so we now have a neural network to which I will provide a context of words, and the target variable should be the word that is getting predicted. And the way it does is, it converts the context words into some embedding that it understands. It crunches all of their data. It trains a neural network, and the job of the network is to then give output of few words that will come in the context of this word, right? Or in the context of the input words. So the overall picture looks like this, where you provide a non-standardized description of your product to our system, which then generates context pairs, understands based on the customer contextual information itself, as to which words are not standardized and what are the candidate words that can be replaced in that description, so that it gets a better standardized version which matches the customer standards of representing the data. So as the outcome of this entire exercise, when we were working on these SOTA experiments, we realized that the major thing is understanding your own system, understanding your requirements and your data is much better than going for the SOTA techniques, right? Because in this entire context, we were able to come up with models which were quite lighter, were very cost efficient, were very quick, and gave us almost great results. Like around 70% of the things were getting standardized versus something which was only 20 or 30% with the SOTA techniques, right? The best thing about the solution was we really no longer had to cater for every customers. We could do it across all customers, across all our domains. And finally, this is the last slide. I have a white paper which describes all of our use case. If you need any details, you can reach out to me on my personal handles, Twitter handles and LinkedIn. And you can also reach out to me on my persistent ID. And if you have any questions, please do share it in the Q&A section here, and I'll be happy to take them.
Thank you so much, Bharati. We have one question from Subbu here. He's asking if this concept of generating context pairs is somewhat similar to generating an n-gram model within a given topic or domain.
Yes, this concept of generating the context pair is very similar to the word-to-vec models explicitly. This is what we use for chain of bag of words and even the skip thought vectors, right? It's very similar to that, yes.
Are there any more questions for Bharati? Okay, I don't see any as of now, but you can definitely post them in chat. Or, yeah, we have another one from Subbu, who says you had multiple approaches called out. What were the results when you compare?
Yeah, as I said, the results weren't very great. So the best results we got was from attention-based transformers, but we did see that they were, overfitting on the data. In one of the results, right? As I mentioned, one of the points, it did not learn the variations of bad patterns that we were trying to teach it on one set of examples, right? It did not learn that pattern for all the other remaining examples as well. And if we try to improve on the examples, then it starts getting skewed towards the number of examples versus the patterns that we are trying to show on the entire record set. So attention-based transformers were the best in these SOTA techniques than the encoder-decoder model, because they also start regressing. So they start spoiling your already standardized words. They also start spoiling them. So the control is lost when you use such SOTA techniques on your entire description. The approach that we took, we tried to ensure that we actually identify what are the non-standard words in our approach and only subject them for consideration to get some candidate replacements rather than moving all of it out.
Thank you so much. I don't see any more questions as of now, but guys, you can definitely reach out to her on LinkedIn. Uh, and now you can also reach out to us through experience zones from the homepage. And Bharti, I must say that was an amazing presentation, an eye opener for me as well, to be honest. And thank you
And
for
yeah,
that.
please reach out to me if you have any further queries. Thank you. It was a pleasure talking here.
Thank you, Bharti. We will now break for lunch. The lunch break is between 12:30 to 1:30. And the booths will also be again available for conversations with talent acquisition teams, Intuit Circles, which is our startup support program. We have Intuit CSR booth open for you guys, and also the Innovation Catalyst team is there in the interactive zone as well, right? And do visit our experience zones again from the homepage. And do not forget, the last leg of the treasure hunt is now gonna start. And post lunch, we will have the mindfulness session by Shinomics in the main arena. So don't miss it. Thank you so much, all of you. Have a great day ahead.